Game 64, gold medal game, Hartwell Arena, Helsinki. Everyone expected the Malkin's Russia to go all the way down to the grand final or to the gold medal. Nobody or nearly expected the Slovaks could go that far. Russia, the top nation in the world ranking, playing in the fourth final in the last 5 years, overloaded with national hockey league superstars that are also expected to lead them to gold on home ice at the Olympics in Sochi in 2 years. Slovakia, nobody expected them there. Only one gold medal in their history. At the last 4 World Championships, they have finished no higher than 10th, which is where they ended up on home ice last year. Gold medal in 2002 versus Russia. Is that enough?
Well, you know what? Anything could happen. Last year, look at Slovakia when they hosted the tournament. They had a dismal go of it. Here they are, turning it around in the space of 1 year in the gold medal game. It's the Slovakian system against the Russian fireball offensive war that they bring down onto the various opponents. We're going to see if the Slovakian side can nullify the superstars that the Russians have between Ovechkin, Malkin, and company.
So big Zdeno Chara needs to do his best in the shutdown performance, and probably he would play even more minutes than yesterday. We thought he didn't play so much because he kept on the defense a bit more than usual, but he plays more than 26 minutes versus the Czechs. So he will be called for extra minutes right from the start, probably. Where referees Antonín Jerabek, Czech Republic, Brent Ryba, Switzerland, Roger Amos, Switzerland again, and Petr Blumek, Czech Republic. What about goaltender Semyon Varlamov and Jan Laco down on the ice again?
Just look at the percentages right up there on your screen. Almost even. You got the top 2 goalies. And there's you got the Mr. Scorer, Malkin. We're going to see how he stands up against Laco and how Laco stands up against Malkin. There's the captain of the Slovakian side, Chara. Quiet, but a big leader out on the ice. The Slovakian side, I don't think they can, shouldn't try and get into a skating game with the Russians. The Russians have lots of very fast players. We've had the opening face-off. Oh, there's the first fall behind the Russian net.
Yeah, there is one. So strategy-wise, we can easily say that if the Slovaks can slow down the Russians in the neutral zone and set a watertight mid-ice barrier, they may hope to get some decent feed to Branko Radivojevic and Andrei Sekera. And then we have the first stoppage and came in points last 2 sides. Evgeny Malkin, Pavel Datsyuk on one side, but too many, really too many to name. Alexander Popov, Evgeny Kuznetsov, Alexander Syomin.
Well, you know what? They had a huge squad as well 2 years ago when they lost against the Czech Republic with Jaromír Jágr, and I remember Ovechkin at the end. Yeah. There's the first big slap shot, long slap shot coming down on Laco. He sees it all the way. He covers up. It's going to be the first face-off in the Slovakian zone. Comes in, saw it all the way in, covers up.
A rising slap shot, but Jan Laco was in full control inside. Libor Hudacek.
Of course, the Slovakian side does not want to get into penalty trouble with the Russians.
No, especially versus this line. This is Ovechkin first shift. Shot is off the target. Zdeno Chara. Watch out for the big NHL clash between Chara and Ovechkin, a classic of Washington Capitals versus Boston Bruins as well. Ryasinski sends a puck along the board. Yemelin, Chara, and there we go. We have a taste of that. Protecting mid-ice, Pavel Datsyuk, Zdeno Chara, his power. Whoa! You comment this.
Goal number 1, Chara! Slap shot right from the point. A bomb goes right up into the upper right-hand corner. It's 1-0 Slovakia. Chara, number 33, the captain of Slovakia. What a slap shot. Let's look at it again. The puck coming out to the point. He has the time to wind up. It's in. And who was supposed to be covering him? Watch who the Russian player is close to Chara. Ovechkin.
Ovechkin was supposed to jump
What a
into
shot.
the shooting lane, wasn't he?
Look at that, right up at the number 7, as they say, right up in the corner at the 7s. Chara, 1-0 Slovakia.
Whoa. What a start, what a game. Yevgeny Medvedev, puck along the board. And there we go for another stoppage.
And the puck jumped up over the glass into the netting. We've got a stoppage there. There's the man of the moment. Starts the game off right for the Slovakians.
Mr. Strategy, who was supposed to jump into this shooting lane? In the
right there, we see it again. Right up at the 7s.
So Zerdev, puck turned out by Lazzo. Terashenko, kept in by Denis Denisov. Try to get rid of the puck. Thomas Starosta. Puck made eyes, so skating back Yevgeny Medvedev. This is Zinetula Bilyaledinov having his team chasing, not even 1 minute into the opening period, but still we see confidence in the Russian supporters.
Of course.
Zvitov's line, good face-out win. Nikolin, the puck is deflected, and Miklik and Tata, powerful third line for the Slovaks. The candidate attempt, the puck is cleared and sent away, back deep in.
Lots of line juggling going on from the Slovakian side immediately. Jumping players in, jumping players out, mixing up the lines, looking for that advantage or getting that good pairing up between the various players. Immediately from Hudacek, the head coach for the Slovakian side.
So now it is Milan Bartovic, another man to take care of. Yevgeny Malkin, he loses the balance and the puck, which results in a puck turned over. Ivan Baranka looking for options under heavy pressure.
Handles it well, gets the puck around his...
Kopetsky and skating back Alexander Perezogin. And Alexander Popov doing the last touch, and another good shift for Yevgeny Malkin's line. 10 goals, 8 assists, 18 points, plus minus size 14.
Now again, you see right there, Malkin yesterday during the game as well was having a bit of a problem with his skates. He fell heavily into the boards on his left shoulder as well. And there again, we see him falling probably because the skates or the sharpening process on his skates isn't exactly what he wants, or this ice surface, they're not as used to it because the Russians did all of their preliminary side in Stockholm in Sweden.
Mikael Sersen forced to get back to pick a puck from the corner. Now from the other side, Medvedev behind the net has got his wingers on position. Not anymore. Now good covering by the Slovaks, made ice. So there's an offside call. And there we go with Alexander Ovechkin, kept in close sight by the video cameras and the opponents. 2 goals, 0 assists. So far, we could easily say that he chipped in a goal for every game since entering the tournament for the quarterfinals. Pavel Datsyuk and Miroslav Satan in for the draw, which goes net side, but it is in favor of the Russians. Medvedev along the blue line, a great steal. Puck is pushed off. Datsyuk opens it up all the way to Alexander Syomin. And Rene Vidarini. Vidarini flicks it up. An aerial pass which is quickly return. Lazzo looking for the high glass. Medvedev in for a long shift. Again, Medvedev, Arista, the puck is sent away very quickly. Back has to skate. Again, the defense men of Russia. And back again. Puck is turned quickly away. Ilya Nikolin again. They are the Bas Kazan defenseman. Looks for an option and finds a very valuable one. And firing from the left. Denis Kokarev. Good combination by the two KHLers.
Like a cat, Lasho gets his glove hand out there and snaps it right out of the air. The Russian defense has been using and living off of, you could say, throughout this tournament, a bit of the stretch pass, trying to free up. It's a very fast forward, so you can look for that tonight in this game. Obviously, Vladimir Vuctic, the head coach of Slovakia, knows that. He's been talking with his defense. They're prepared for that type of situation. We'll see which team prevails.
Like we said a few hours before, if you allow a 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 to the Russians or stretch pass, small Central European nation may have no hope. But if they put a big barrier there, the thing might be pretty different. And again, it is the Russian goaltender, Semyon Varlamov, of the Colorado Avalanche, putting his white and his glove over the puck, which is, and now we have a look how close Terashenko was.
Terashenko had a bit of a deflection right in front of Lasho. It went wide. They'll be adjusting their sights pretty soon. Of course, we're going to have to, it's going to be a big working day, obviously, for the Slovakian defense with when you're looking at a group of players as what the Russians have.
In for the draw, Mikhail Handzus and Zuzan Satan, the only two remaining players from the 2002 Slovak team that got the only gold ever versus Russia in Gothenburg in Sweden. The Slovaks haven't made a final since that.
So just as yesterday was a grudge match against Finland, today's another grudge match against Slovakia for the Russians.
Yeah, you don't get bored, right? Do you? Zdeno Chara checking closely. Oh! Checking closely on Alexander Zvitov, another danger man up in front. Puck back to Meidais. Kopechki chasing against Ryasensky. Ryasensky now Alexei Yemelin. Ryasensky again. Kopechki chasing. And Miroslav Satan retreats to Meidais. There we go. One man up front. Again, it is the veteran Satan up front, and all the rest of the team mid-ice. Creating a barrier there.
Satan had a huge day yesterday in their semi-final. He wants to keep on riding that wave into the final, obviously. Chara started it. He wants to surf on that wave into another 2 or 3 goals today. He would just love to do that. There he is, Chara. He's the man of the match so far with a huge slap shot right from the point. Had eyes right and got right in at the sevens over the Russian goalie.
2 meters 5 centimeters for the former Ottawa Senators and New York Islanders.
Here we see it again.
Superstar. The rising slap shot going to the far post, up under the roof, stick side. Nothing worse than that. And then we have a close-up to the tete-a-tete between the Washington Capitals star and the Boston Bruins one. And there he was.
He was just one step late, Ovechkin.
Yeah.
If he's going to be covering Chara.
I was a bit shy to say that.
He would just have to tighten it up just a little bit around Chara, okay? Because Chara, even though he's a big guy, his release for his slap shot is extremely fast.
Yes.
So you can't underestimate it, obviously, but Chara being with his size and with the stick, with his slap shot, as we've been saying before, he gets that whipping action onto the puck, and that's why he gets so much speed on it. Of course, he's a great player, and he has the direction. He can really target his shots as well, but the whipping action that he gets onto the puck explains why he has some of that superior speed.
Datsuk, lovely stick work by Datsuk. Skating around Alexander Siomin, it's a superstar parade here. And Ilya Nikulin, his shot deflected. Again, it is the Detroit Red Wings superstar. Sergei Biryukov under heavy pressure by Miroslav Satan, Nikulin. And again, Alexander Siomin trying to bring the puck in. Datsuk looking for options, centralize the option he goes for as they go to the replacement bench. Now a change on the fly for both the teams. And the Yemelin, the Montreal Canadiens D-man and playmaker Alexei Yemelin, Zerdev checking Sersen behind Latos net. Yemelin, puck mid-ice, no big issue for Thomas Tarosta, sending the puck away. It says 1 versus 2. Good work, very good work by Mario Bliznak, the first face-off man according to numbers for the Slovaks. And then we have right face-off in the Russians' defensive zone, and a concerned Zinatula Bilyaledninov.
I want to see who's the face-off man for the Slovakian side.
Well, Bliznak may be, no, it's Andzus. It is Andzus. I thought that Bliznak could tie in because I didn't have the impression this line was in since a long time.
The referees didn't like the face-off, so they're going to redo it at the same face-off circle. Andzus as well.
Puck goes net side, and it is a dangerous one. With Michael Sersen. Andzus chasing the puck. Then Chara skating back, repositioning center ice, taking close care of Nikolai Kulyomin. Kulyomin in possession of the puck. Chara. Oh, he gets away of Chara's grasp, which is not the easiest thing to do along the board. Very good work, brilliant work from Nikolai Kulyomin to fend off.
And again, you see the Slovakian system. They seem always to come up with the puck in their own end, and they just take 1, 2, or simple passes and they get it out. That's what they're satisfied with. They get it out into the mid-ice area. Right there. There's another good example. Here's a one-on-one for Satan.
Miroslav Satan, his release is limited as because the shooting lane was closed. So Sekera Lazzo and Chara.
A deflection off the stick there, saved a goal for the Slovakian side.
Board battle, who digs better? Denisov enters. Too many bodies in protection of young Lazzo's net. Now Malkin's line going to the bench. Puck sent deep in. Yemelin, good pass. Watch out for the
from Tatar.
backhand attempt by Tatar. The puck was off the line, therefore the team was offside.
Offside against Slovakia. There we see Malkin back on the bench. Let's see what happened out there. Right here, shooting. Oh, Baranka got his stick out there to take a goal away from Malkin.
Luckily, the puck didn't flick over the puck.
That's right, but those are the small little things that become huge that in this over the course of this game.
Ovechkin, and that's the score. A backhand feed by Ovechkin, and it was very quick closing down by Alexander Siomin to give the equalizer.
There you go, classic 2-on-1, the Russians going in, creating a 2-on-1 situations. There's Seomin, Alexander Seomin, number 28. He gets his first goal today. Watch how it develops.
Watch out for the Washington Capitals combo.
Ovechkin was able to get around the defense. Brings it right in. Seomin puts it into the back of the net. It's a one-up game.
So Washington misfortunes are in a sort of way Russia's fortunes.
Are looking better than a few minutes ago. Let's see if they can build on this wave, on this energy, on this impetus to finally put the Slovakians away, or if the Slovakians, as we've seen time and time again throughout this tournament, even though they get down, they're able to get themselves back up on their feet and get them into the game and win these games.
Chara looking for Bartovic, but the puck is right to the other way, offside. It was offside, so they're skating backwards.
Malkin has some tape on his on his left wrist, excuse me, probably from that fall yesterday when he went heavily into the boards.
Yes,
against Finland.
Very heavily into the boards. So Kopecki line in for the Slovaks and Kokarev one for the Russians. So it is a checker line for the Russians. Puck is deflected, another big danger. Kokarev in front of the slot, and Nikulin digging the puck away. Branca in control. He goes for the safe option. The safe option becomes a very good offensive one. In a bunch of seconds, puck back in the neutral zone. Skating fast and opening all the way. René Vidoreni, Satan, Hudacek, left to right. Kalinin, and now Perzogin. This is a great feed
to Malkin.
No, good back checking by the Russians. Very committed in what have been a weak point so many times in the past years. Not in the recent past, but back checking was not a Russian trademark, and now they're doing that very well. Ovechkin, strong pass to center ice, which is not complete. Oh, there you have Ovechkin and Datsyuk lining up together, and Seomin. So you got the Detroit Red Wings and the two Washington superstars in the same second line.
That sounds like a good second line to me.
Oh, it's not bad. It is completed by Alexei Yemelin and Yevgeny Ryasensky on defensive duties. What do you say? How about that? Not bad, is it?
Yeah, a lot of coaches would like to have that.
Yeah. Maybe Datsyuk skating around. Finding Seomin. Ovechkin, Nikulin, and Chara. Time to get away from there with an aerial dump. Nikulin loses sight of the puck, but there's no heavy pressure on that puck. Andrei Sekera, a stellar performance. One of the most scoring D-men of the tournament. Then we will have a couple of words about his numbers, but not now, because Evgeny Medvedev is looking to put his team into the offensive zone. Skating back again, Evgeny Medvedev. Medvedev looking for a stretch pass, which is not completed. It was not a big barrier mid-ice by the Slovaks right now. Anyway, the puck was not tamed down and controlled. Yevgeny Ryasensky. Ryasensky again to Medvedev. Medvedev calls in support his forwards. So Kuliomin covering and chasing Radivojevic. Handzus checked by Svitov, back into the neutral zone and into the defensive zone for the Slovaks. Behind the net, Thomas Starosta, the Junkrakati Mansisk defenseman. Right to left, Vidareni chasing the puck and releasing a long pass along the board. Ilya Nikulin, Chara, a soft dump. And
the Slovakian side
Satan
seems to have weathered the Russian pressure up to this point.
Malkin the puck remains along the board. Ovechkin gives it back and he plays as a D-man. Ovechkin, a kind of special team, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they're moving the players around from one position to another. They don't want to give reference points to the Slovakian side. Plus, of course,
Ovechkin, Lazio deflecting. Datsuk behind the net. Alexander Siomin, the Washington Capitals scoring machine, receives the puck and releases a good pass to his teammate and line mate today. 4 minutes 23 seconds to the end. What a tension.
well, sure. When you have players like Ovechkin, as you're saying, was out on the he was doing a shift out on the defense as well. That shows the flexibility and elasticity of a lot of these players. You can move them around from a position to another. Let's have a look at the action. Here's that first goal from Slovakia, right up at the sevens from Chara, right in the first minute. After a while, that's over to Ovechkin. Ovechkin beats Miklik on the D. Is able to get the centering pass out into the middle of the ice, and the Russians put that puck away to bring themselves even in this game so far. It's a 1-1 game.
So we've seen that all the key men have been already called for an extra shift, and that's for 13 minutes of play. Zinetula Bilyaledinov mixing it up, thinking his first three lines in a very offensive approach.
Sure, they would love to pop in a few more goals, looking for some sort of cushion or trying to make a statement in the first period exactly about what that they think that who's going to command in this game.
Wow.
Bartovic
again, good release from the left side. Bartovic looking for a puck again. There might be some free eyes. Too many people committed up front. Zdeno Chara, basketball wide, sends the puck back into the mid-ice zone. Ovechkin taking a breather. And there we go with the Ovechkin camera.
You got by Miklik right there.
We're pretty quiet so far, but always watch out for the Tatar and Miklik line for the Slovaks.
Exactly.
They did wonders throughout the tournament. Svitov talking to his winger, telling what to do after the puck is dropped. The puck flies back to the other side. Ilya Nikulin in Biryukov. Nikulin skating back, covering well. Handzus, the man brought up high by the Slovaks. Denis Kokarev protecting, very good puck protection. Vidareni waits to the other side. He doesn't follow the wraparound, which is a pretty dangerous thing to do. But he anticipates waiting on the second post.
Again, you see the Slovakian side having to dump the puck down the ice. The Russians are trying to get, with their speed, along the sides, coming along the boards, as we saw Ovechkin do on that goal. They're trying again, right, left, looking for the weak points in the Slovakian side.
A great shot by Evgeny Medvedev. The puck is stolen and sent back again. Well, the Slovaks have no many choices. They have to keep the Russians along the wall as much as they can. Even though Russian outside speed is not a factor to be neglected again.
Well, if you have a player that's fast, when you're defending against him, not to try and get in that situation like Miklik was with Ovechkin, you have to give him half a stride.
Half a stride, yeah.
We're giving him that half a stride. If he tries to jump you along the side, along the boards, you have that space to recover and push him right up against the boards. Lift his stick, wait for your companion to come in and get the free puck.
Get a free, yeah.
And there's Tatar, number 90, for the Slovakian side. He's been having a great tournament. He's been growing throughout the tournament and becoming ever a more important player for the Slovakian side. Quick shot on to Varlamov, the Russian goalie, right from the face-off.
Tomas Tatar, after this, is convincing his NHL coaches that he will not spend much time with the Grand Rapids Griffins next year. I bet after this kind of tournament he played in a very balanced and aggressive line with Juraj Mikus and Mikhail Miklik.
Look at the space conceded to the Russians.
And there we go with Tomas Tatar. One man brought up high and 4 white sweaters lining up, defending their own eyes behind that. Ovechkin has the better over Zdeno Chara. Watch out for the big duo with the puck is along the board again. Siomin, waters check by René Videreni. Videreni without much drive, he found a way to use the upper body to squeeze it over and along the boards. A change on the fly, 1 minute left on the clock. So Biryukov locating the option, waiting for the change on the fly to be completed. Alexander Popov backs and back along the board, 53 seconds left. There we go for a face-off.
You see, the Slovakian side is quite content just to work out these last 50-odd seconds in the first period and take a 1-1 tie into the dressing room. The Russians would dearly love to be able to jump in there and get a goal in these last few seconds. 1-1 tie.
Can we maybe say that the Slovaks are on the game plan and the Russians maybe not?
Well, the pressure that the Russians have been coming at the Slovakians with, the speed that they've been coming at them with, the Slovakians just want to get into the dressing room with a 1-1 tie, have a look at their video monitors, and tighten up their game where they have to so that they don't have to go through 2 more periods like this.
Again, cycling shift, then the puck is lost in favor of the defending team. Great pass. Bliznak skating to the right side, releasing very well, but well positioned. Semyon Varlamov answers. Puck is lost, and there might be some wrist issue for Sergei Shirokov. Baranka, the puck jumps high. Malkin can get over Tatar. And the buzzer to end the first period. It is Russia 1, Slovakia 1. Back for more, for much more outside in about 10-11 minutes. Welcome back for the second period. Slovakia 1, Russia 1. It is the 10th anniversary of the big day in Slovak hockey history. The gold medal won versus Russia in Gothenburg. But regardless of the strides Slovakia has made since the start of this championship this year's Russian team is regarded as favored to reverse the result and get the first gold since 2009.
That's right. They desperately want their gold, and they were all over the Slovakians for much of that first period. No change between the pipes for both teams. Of course, the Slovakians, with Chara having his super slap shot, started the scoring very early on in the first period. And then the Russians came back, evening it up, but they kept on upping and upping and upping the intensity. What could the Slovakian coaching staff have told their players in the dressing room between the first and second period to nullify that Russian attack, Luka?
Mid-ice, couple of words.
Mid-ice, good.
Mid-ice, I think.
Break it up in the mid-ice area.
That's it.
Try and meet them at the blue line much more. Try and get a bit more contact. Don't let them skate so freely. That's what you're thinking?
Exactly that. Stop them mid-ice in the shutdown. They play. Permit no stretch pass, and what about numbers? 13 shots. Russia 10, Slovakia face-off count says 11-8 and hits 6. Russia 1, Slovakia, but numbers are when numbers are so tight, it goes down to the quality. The number that really makes the difference is the one on the scoreboard right now. So it is Nicolin. And again, 1 in front and 4 line up on the blue line, again for the Slovaks.
They're doing it. I think you were on the phone to them during the intermission.
No.
They're doing exactly what you were saying.
I ran out of battery. Markin sends it long. Speed race, and good work by Mikael Sersen.
You can tell that Malkin desperately wants to get a goal today. You can just tell how he's going out looking for that puck, trying to get some more action going for himself in this second period.
And again, Tata line in. We had real fun commenting this line throughout the whole tournament. Starosta, Videreni, and the 3 mentioned forwards. The puck goes straight to the small nation that is really changing the perception of what a small country can achieve. Skating back, Vidorini hands it to Starosta. Starosta sends it deep, but there is time for the third face-off of the middle frame. And Vidorini's line ties in. They've been in for a few seconds, sometimes not just a matter of seconds, but of what happened. They've been in for 10, 15 seconds, but nothing too demanding, so they stay in, right?
Yeah, you want to keep them as fresh as possible. You don't want to get into a tired situation against the Russians. That's just going to open up more space.
Good work on the face-off circle by Pavel Datsyuk. Now the Detroit Red Wings superstar skates back. Help is needed on the defense. Are they returning quick enough? Looks like, there we go, Datsyuk helping out from the far corner. Again, Datsyuk. Jan Lazo sends the puck away. Behind the net, Baranka. Baranka, and again we go with the Tatami click line. The puck is stopped, then deflected. Tatar Miklik trying to combine again. Juraj Mikus. And now Nikita Nikitin sends a puck far away, looking for Alexander Ovechkin on the blue line. The target is not reached, and the puck is back there.
This is exactly how Slovakia has to play in this second period. Much more aggressive against the Russians. They can't be back on their heels against this Russian squad.
Plus, you get the big offensive weapons committed in the defensive work. That's what they wanted. Pavel Datsyuk was vulturing mid-ice, waiting for a puck, but he had to retreat and help out the defense.
Here we see that shot. Nikitin blocks the first shot from Miklik. He gets the rebound back. It goes off wide to the right of Varlamov, the Russian goalie. Yes, the Slovakians were just a little bit too complacent for most of that first period. They let the Russians take over the ice surface, and of course they let them start skating. You don't want to get into much of a skating game with a team like this.
No.
You have to be aggressive yourself. And here come the Slovakians. They've got the puck down into the Russian side with a flick shot onto the Russian net, turned away easily.
You maybe can win versus the Russian, but you cannot outskate them and outskill them. No way. And this is to be said very openly. Skills-wise, skating-wise, no one like Russia. And then we see Denis Kokarev and Kulyomin. Kulyomin packed back over the blue line into the neutral zone. Medvedev from the left. Perezorgin, Alexander Perezorgin. And Popov. Medvedev, too long, marking, covering very well on the defense, very good.
In fact, what you were just saying.
It is a clear fact Russia needs his offensive weapon helping out on the defense, and now they're very close. A high quality scoring chance and a very careful net minding.
Watch this. One shot coming in, goes behind the net, getting to the position. Here comes the second one, third one, 3 opportunities.
What more should I do?
He was probably saying, where did they get this goalie?
Not from a big stage. There was one of the areas of concerns before the tournament for the Slovaks. Ovechkin, he shot over the target. Chip and chase. Yemelin. And Ryasensky. CSKA Moscow, Yevgeny Ryasensky picking up the puck. Now handed to Alexei Yemelin. Siomin. Now the Washington line is in. Now the Detroit Red Wings big star, Kulyomin, Biryokov, Tatar.
Tatar is always looking better, I must say. He's looking better and better and better throughout this tournament. Much poise as well.
Well, he is playing well and combines very well with the line. So Bartovic, strong skating by Bartovic, puck back to the blue line. Puck is deflected. Andrei Sekera skating back, good covering defense. The 3 line up very well. You could easily see how the center got back, covering the mid lane, permitting this way the D-men to defend better in a closer range.
And yet they stood up the Russians and forced the Russians into an offside situation at the blue line. That's that's been the major change in the Slovakian side so far. They aren't getting caught so deep in their own zone.
Yes, they don't want to get caught there, that's for sure, and it's very visible from the pictures. A good steal, mid-ice, but marking. Shirokov, Ryasensky. Shirokov's been a difference maker in the first 2-3 games. Bartovic, Radivojevic. How could I miss this name? Branko Radivojevic, the other mid-Taishi forward. And Kopecky. Hanzus, Kopecky, Radivojevic, first liners for the team with the white sweater. There we go with the big weapons for Russia. Perezogin, back his shot off the target again. Alexander Popov again, the avant-gardes forward. Perezogin, a backhanded attempt. It is in, it is a score. It is Russia 2, Slovakia 1.
The Russians were able to get the Slovakians to get a bit scrambly in their own zone, starting to run after the puck, pulling players out of their own position, and again they paid for it. And it's a 2-1 game in favor of the Russians right now. And there's the man of the moment, Alexander Perezogin.
Slovaks have to stop the play mid-ice. When you have the Russians at home, it is very, very difficult. They cycle very well. They're very smart on short passes.
Chara
they make
goes
the
into
best of rebounds.
Chara made no hesitation to try and get into the net to cover the situation, but to no avail that time.
Memory goes back to the brotherly clash versus the Czechs. He was sitting there, fending off sticks and pucks, covering the post.
Exactly,
with
yes.
this huge frame. Still got this picture coming to mind. Anyway, it is Russia 2, Slovakia 1. 13 minutes, 26 seconds left in the middle period. Datsuk and his long stick.
And this is a moment, crucial moment for the Slovakians. Look how Datsuk is coming in. He smells a goal right now. He wants to get that cushion for his team. The Slovakians have to stay calm, stick to their system.
Mikus, Tatar, back there. Here comes the danger. Oh, very good covering defense, and the slap comes from the other side. Alexei Tereshchenko, good spot. You back check very well on one side, you find the danger coming from the other side of the ice. So now Alexei Yemelin, back sent deep in, Tereshchenko.
Now that the teams get stretched out a little bit, the Russians immediately go to those long stretch passes, trying to catch the Slovakians either on a change or out of position or far away from one another. The Slovakians play best when they're more close together, tighter, more compact. When they get stretched out, as we've seen in the last couple of minutes, the Russians immediately try and start picking them apart.
Either by design or by the fact that the Russians are very good on passing, but we saw 3 stretch passes in the last 3 minutes, I think, which we haven't seen before in the period. Great defensive work by Baranka. He goes down, covers low ice, battling hard. Thomas Kopecky, good puck protection by the Russians, but they have to restart from their own zone. And Radivojevic checking, and Datsuk checking that Datsuk doesn't have room enough. Malkin, like so, puts his body in the middle. Malkin, he maintains possession, sends a puck deep. Oh, gets rid of Mikkelsen with a big bump, thunderous bump. Andrei Sekera. Sersen back to Sekera.
The Russians were obviously upping the pressure in these last couple of minutes.
They might be as low. No, it's okay. It might be me. I saw a stick effort that probably the referees esteem not to be that bad. Back deep in, Ovechkin. pushing away Vidarini. Puck back mid-ice. To keep this line scoreless is one of the tasks for the Slovaks. Another bad idea. Very good line matching, I think, by Vladimir Vujtek. He puts the fastest line versus the top Russian line.
Absolutely, you have to try and keep some sort of parity between the two lines. If you get, let's say, even the second or third line out against some of the Russian lines, it's too much of a mismatch.
Yeah, they go down with probably the fastest line they have, which is Mikus, Tatar and Miklik, and Zdeno Chara line until the big Russian weapons go and take a seat. There we go, great skating skill. Tomas Tatar maintaining possession, gaining pressure seconds. Bliznak skating around like crazy, maintaining possession again. Andrei Sekera, spirited work by Bliznak. Sekera, Hovorka making the best. Skating back, dangerous situation here. Slovaks, they back check very well, but can you rely on your back checking versus players like the Russians? Very hard to do that. Slap shot from mid-ice, which is not stopped, therefore no face-off. Puck sent back again, Perezogin. Handzus chases them, he waits and does a release over the bar. And Lazo thinks that it is the right time for a stoppage and a face-off. And of course, a change.
And once again, he denied Malkin. Malkin going out there and getting himself another good scoring opportunities, but Lasho actually said no. Here's some of the last action, which resulted in that second goal.
And again, Zdeno Chara into the net, or nearly so.
Watch how Lasho gets pulled out of the net.
So good protection behind the goaltender, but too late to save the score that gave the Russians the 2-1 lead. What do you think that the Slovaks changed the strategy?
The Slovaks obviously will have to change their strategy. They're not going to be doing it too quick. They're going to probably look for different line combinations, trying to get one of their stronger lines against maybe the third or fourth Russian line out there, trying to just get a few more good scoring opportunities. Of course, they got to get the puck down into the Russian end, but they've been doing their best, and they've been doing a good job withstanding the Russian pressure in these last few minutes.
Great wing on the face-off area by Alexander Zvitov. Nikolai Kulyamin Sasin chasing the puck. A chance to get out of the defensive zone by the Slovaks. Chara, a soft dump into the corner. Chara sends the puck deep behind the net, looking for a bouncer, making good use of the quick bounces coming off the fiberglass at the Hartwell Arena. Radivojevic, no, it's not Radivojevic, it's Kopetsky. Kopetsky again, the deflected puck. 2-on-2, Datsuk. And Siomin Novechkin.
Very nice play from the Russians.
Great skills. It was a 2-on-2. But when the two these guys that we saw right now, the thing is different. And also very good defense by the Russians. 4 red sweaters lined up to defend their own ice.
There you go. Ovechkin had a good scoring opportunity as well. Beautiful work from his line mates. Datsuk goes deep to pull one of the defensemen off. Watch. Stops. Creates the space for Ovechkin. Lasho Look at all the space that Ovechkin has. Actually went off the Sekera stick. But it's that type of situation. You don't really want to get into, like as we've been saying, into a skating match too much with lines like that, and don't open it up. The Slovakians desperately need that third man coming back, usually the centerman or a winger, to fill up that center ice area to make it essentially 3 defensemen.
The 3-man defense, we saw it very clearly with very good aerial pictures sometimes to let us understand a bit more about the strategies. So the Slovaks had a slow start and early losses to Canada and Finland, but after that Slovakia has been nearly unstoppable. They won versus France, a very good French team, the elimination round, and then they stunned the Canadians.
Nice work.
Nice, great work.
And there's Satan having himself a good opportunity out there.
Defense keeping the attacker to the outside. Good work by Lazio again. Alexander Popov skating fast. Very well kept to the ice, to the outside. Starosta. Oh, what a bad turnover. That could be a turn of event. It is a turn of event. Bad turnover and good score. Terashenko giving Russia the 3-1 lead over Slovakia.
Again, we saw just before the Slovakians had the chance to get the puck out of their zone, but they didn't. The Russians jumped on it, turned it back, stretched out the defense, bring in Alexei Terashenko. Watch right there, they move it back from one end to another, forcing the goalie to move. And Terashenko pops it in, the assistant captain. Back and forth in front of the goalie. Lasho has to move, open up space. Terashenko puts it into the back of the net.
Too much for a goaltender to move so quickly one side to another. Why do you think that the Slovaks can work it out defending like that on the 2-on-1, the 3-on-2? It was something that
2-on-1 is always difficult to defend against, plus especially with the amount of space that they had. But again, that all came about because the Slovakians had the chance to move the puck out of their zone.
So puck back mid-ice. D to D. Diagonal long pass. Shirokov. Puck is intercepted pretty well by Mikhail Miklik and sent too far away. Therefore, there is an icing call and a face-off.
Miklik tried a long stretch pass to Tatar, couldn't get to it, and it turns out to be an icing call. Here we're going to see again, Slovakians have the puck, moving it around. The Russians were just too fast onto it. 1-2, give and go, put it into the net.
Puck transferred quickly, left to right, right to left. Mikus waved off from the face-off dot. The puck is blocked underneath a few legs, deflected. Juraj Mikus and Tatar trying to hand him the puck. A little bit of interference by Svitov. Tatar again, skating around, creating space. Andrei Sekera, but there might be the first penalty. We had a penalty-less opening period.
No, I think it's just because the Slovakian forward got into the crease area, was pushed into the crease area right there. Miklos was pushed into the crease area. Varlamov immediately went and complained to the referee. The referee stops the play, and they pulled the face-off outside of the zone.
Yeah, I thought there was something far from the puck, some argument far from the puck. Sergei Varlamov Shuts down now. And the puck again goes in favor of the leading team, Denisov. Denisov, puck dipping into the corner from a bad angle. A remarkable shot from the right side. Now, all the Russians defending their own ice. Medvedev. Datsuk, he finds himself backhanded, he stops and releases in a very dangerous way. There was a certain Alexander Ovechkin waiting at the edge of the crease. Datsuk again, trying to regain possession, and the puck is regained. And it is Russia 4, Slovakia 1.
Quick turnover in the Slovakian zone, and the Russians make no mistake about burying that puck into the net. Seomin gets the 4th Russian goal.
It is again the Washington Capitals. Big start, big side. Alexander Ovechkin.
Watch right there. Steal of the puck. Seomin puts it right in.
So it is up under the roof, and now we can easily say that the Slovaks are skating up ice.
You know why Seomin was able to put it up high? Because he stayed away from the goalie.
Yeah. If you're too close to the pads, you can't flick it up.
Exactly.
Sure. Distance by the goaltenders being a factor in this score. I completely agree. Well, there's a delay penalty. And things come even worse for the Slovaks when you have your best penalty killer sitting down in the same bin. You might be in trouble. It's not only a matter of 4 versus 5. In this case, it is also a matter of who is sitting.
Well, exactly. Chara's stick got mixed up in the skates of Popov's skates, and that's called tripping.
That's called tripping, yes. Tripping is the name. 2 minutes is the time. So the Slovaks have to survive this, but 3 scores versus a team like that is a real difficult task. It'll take an incredible turn of events to change the flow of this game, but we've seen too many turn of events to think that the game is closed. Far from that. Good cycling, a little bit of overhandling maybe.
Yeah, that's right. They're moving it around quite well so far.
Sure, you don't have to try and score at the first opportunity, but you're in the second period. Benches are far, so maybe get them fatigued.
Exactly.
And then try. Again, it is Malkin on the blue line now. He goes back to attacking position. Well, was it a post?
No, I think it was just wide.
Just wide. Oh, nearly confident play to say the least. Baranka chasing the puck. Radivojevic covering very well the shooting lane.
Still another 40 seconds left on the power play for Russia. Malkin is basically just walking around doing what he wants out there. It's a tough situation for the Slovakian side when you see that. But they did the best they could, keeping the Russian players. Here's the last shot from Malkin. Here's his work from behind the net. Oh, maybe it did catch the post. Excuse me, I think you're right.
So possession again for the team in power play. So everything going against the Slovaks right now. Zerdev, watch out for Malkin, is in again. No change has been done. Yes, there's been a change on the fly. Well, we had what we saw the slow motion. So Denisov, Medvedev, Vidareni, penalty time over. Teams back at full strength. This is a chance for the Slovaks to get to the clearing. Not anymore because the puck is turned over. Again, now they can go to a shift, but the clearance find a friendly body all the way. So still bottled inside their defensive zone. The Central Europeans. Mikhail Sersen, another bad turnover and a backhanded attempt by Alexander Ovechkin. Juraj Mikus. It's been an eternity since they didn't come to the other side of the icy surface. Good skating, Juraj Mikus.
Yeah, the Slovakians are suffering the Russian pressure. The Russians have the players always in the right position, moving the puck around much better than the Slovakian side. Right now, the Slovakians just have to try and stay calm, trying and just claw their way back into the game. Here's Ovechkin.
Ovechkin, great feed. Really great feed to Alexander Semin. Semin, Lazo puts his body in between. Again, Blizniak goes back, Chara back skating, covering on Popov. Svitov, I'm sorry. Svitov cuts it through the crease. Chara wrists it to the crease. 23 seconds left in the middle period. Puck again, mid-ice, there's a broken stick, lost there. Lazo, he thinks that cover is coming, so enough is enough. And then we have a close look to
That's the first goal for
Semin's
Simon.
effort.
And there's number 2. He's having a very good night, Alexander Semin.
2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, plus minus count says 3. So Handzus and Malkin chasing the puck. Now it is back in the neutral zone. Time over. The Hooter said that the players have to go to the rest back in 11 minutes.
Welcome back to the final gold medal game, third period. Here we see the Slovakian team coming back onto the ice. They were put through the Russian washing machine for the entire second period. The Russians upping the tempo, upping the pace, stealing the puck often from the Slovakian players in their own end, turning it into two quick, beautiful goals. We have a 4-1 situation now in favor of the Russians starting the third period. Luca, what do you think?
Washing machine, very poetic, gives the idea of a circular movement.
That's right.
That's why you elected this metaphor, right?
Well, as well, what happens is you feel like you're in a washing machine when you're playing against a team like this because they keep the pressure on.
Maybe the windmill could sound better than washing machine. Anyway, up to you.
No, because when you come out of it, you're all wet.
All right. All right. All right. Good point. Very good point. 8 shots and no scores in the second period for the Slovaks. But we had a look at the graphics. The point is where the Slovaks did the shot from, very far away.
The Slovakian attack was very sterile in that second period. They were forced out towards the perimeter, towards the boards. The shots were oftentimes very long, easily handled by the Russian side. Malkin takes the face-off for the third period, gets it back to his D-men.
And it is of a clear evidence that the Russian 4 units can easily find the back of the net. The Slovaks mid-ice barrier that worked so well throughout the tournament seem to be breaking up.
That's right, and you're seeing this right now. Obviously, the Slovakians are coming after the Russians. It's useless to stand back and wait for them. They're coming after them right now. Obviously, they're going to have to come after the Russians. They're down 4-1. They're going to have to try and get 2 or 3 quick goals. That puck jumped up and hit Barolin in the face. He was sitting on the bench. Watch as the puck jumps up right now. Comes up, gets him right on the nose.
And Chara stops there and I kind of see what happened. Surely he didn't. Very sportsmanlike, right?
Yes.
Says, I'm okay, I'm all right. Good piece of sportsmanship, I think. Ovechkin pushing and trying to power through the crease. This time, guess who is there denying this nth penetration?
The Seaman. Chara!
Have a look. Now, Chara. Excuse me, Satan. Satan is not enough to contain the 100 and more kilos of muscles and power of Alexander Ovechkin. Medvedev and Datsyuk in support. Datsyuk is the target for the pass from right to left. A kind of slow dumping chase by Datsyuk. Siomin, Alexander Siomin, Miroslav Setan. Bartovic, good puck. Straight to the net, no deflection, but I think that even though what we've said before, the Slovaks maybe don't think that it is time to rest the case.
Well, no, they need a little bit more work out of Miklik and Tatar. If they could get a little bit more penetration into the Russian zone. Here we're going to see what Malkin's been up to. He has that left wrist has been bothering him, and that may be why he's not able to get the shots off exactly the way he wants, because he smashed into the boards against the Finns very hard yesterday, and so that might be a reason why he's not be able to get that same type of effect on his shots, and in fact he's been held off of the scoring board so far tonight, but still not finished.
Euramikus loses the face-off, puck deep in, and Videreni digging it out. Again, Videreni making sure his man doesn't turn around. He does. Puck kept in by the Russian, not anymore. There we go, Tomas Tatar Oh, kept on the outside to say the least. Alexei Yemelin had the puck circulating to the other.
Icing call against
And
the Russians.
this is an icing call. And up we go. Andrei Sekera. Great tournament. Very offensive. Good playmaker. Prime Minister of the Republic of Finland. Good morning, Mr. Jyrki Katainen. No one both sides. Bliznak at the puck remains close to the dot. Taking it very easy. Alexei Yemelin gives the puck and moves along the board. Not a very good dump by the Russians anyway. Ivan Baranka, Bartovic. No great issue for the Russian goaltender. Baranka sends it deep in. Nikitin with Kokarev in support. There goes Kokarev, he marches ahead and then sends the puck deep in. Marking Perezogin. Watch out for Branko Radivojevic. Chara and Sersen. Puck sent deep in again. Denisov very tired. I'm sure he goes to take a seat.
And it's icing call against the Slovakian side.
Well, 3 scores in about 18 minutes is a very tough task. Even though the Slovaks themselves, they have very good difference makers up in front, no doubt about that. And talk about difference makers, Alexander Ovechkin trying a forehanded snapshot. Yemelin D2D a couple of times. Datsyuk again back in support. An aerial dump to the corner. The Boston Bruins big man sending the puck away. Oh, bad turnover. Very good for Alexander Ovechkin, but very bad giveaway by the Slovaks. And that goes into the net. It is the 5th time for Jan Laco to pick up the puck from the back of the net. Russia 5, Slovakia 1. Datsyuk.
And that came about from a giveaway from the Slovakians in their zone. There's Pavel Datsyuk. He got his goal out tonight. Comes in, gets the centering pass from behind the net from Ovechkin and company.
Well, on one side, we have to say that
Siumin.
the Russians really deserve the result, but it is sad to see if the scoring rhythm carries on like that. It's going to be very sad for the Slovaks. Anyway, great result. There's more country. After 93, they restarted from Group 3. There's a lot of history behind all that, so they must be proud, even though they go back home with a silver medal. But hopefully the score.
They've made huge progress in the amount of years that they've had at their disposal, obviously. There's the last goal scorer, Pavel Datsyuk.
Well, the puck did fly out of play up to the netting. And then again, we go for a puck drop. It is Juraj Mikus winning the thing after it's been released. Mikus again. Good pass. Mika Miklik cannot make an attempt to tip it in. Mika Miklik on defensive duties now. Videreni under pressure. Puck mid-ice, another turnover. Nikitin, Zerdev, and lots of saves. And Starosta makes good guard at the edge of the crease.
Again, it's the Russians upping the tempo. They're getting into the Slovakian zone, getting to the puck before the Slovakian defenders, forcing the turnovers, forcing the bad passes with the speed that they have, of course. All the lines, one line after another, can keep that speed going, keeping the other team under the constant pressure.
Svitov versus Bliznak. Bliznak having the result. Batovic, Baranka, Ivan Baranka. Puck sent deep in, Nikitin. Quick counter attack, very good. Covering not that good as it looked by Bartovic. Svitov and Bartovic again. Baranka, Marcel Askak. Sergei Varlamov blocks the puck. Nikitin, and again the
Malkin.
Pittsburgh Penguins offensive weapon, maintaining possession some way, shielding the puck with his body, showing great commitment. Medvedev under pressure sends the puck deep in and goes for a change. Mikhail Sassen,
Right
the
there,
Florida Panthers, Thomas Kopetsky and Mikhail Handzus. A board gathering, and the puck is dug out by the Russians. Datsuk offside. And this offside have been a kind of gift to the Slovaks, wasn't it?
Yeah, a bit of mistiming by the Russians there. But again, look at the Russians coming high with the speed, with that high pressure that they bring onto the Slovakians, not giving the Slovakians any type of space or breathing time to get organized. Again, it comes down to that the Russians, one of the elements is that they have the superior speed, and we're going to have a look at some of the action so far in the game. There's the first goal from Chara right up at number 7.
It did bode very well for the Slovaks, but it was not meant to be.
Simeon, first goal from Simeon. And there's the second Russian marker. And here's the third one. Coming in again from Terashenko. Another giveaway. And that's Simeon again. And here is Datsuk. But again, if you notice the tendency, the Russians coming up with that high pressure are forcing the Slovakian side to make turnover after turnover in their own end. And as you have indicated, Luka, we have a goalie change on the Slovakian side. Jan Lasho is out.
So Peter Hamelik is in.
He'll have a go at it for the last about 13 and a half minutes.
That's a good thing. You know, you have your main goalies out for a while. You give a presence for the gold medal and the silver medal.
Yeah, exactly.
Goaltender. I wouldn't be surprised that if Varlamov would leave in favor of Konstantin Barolin. Tretiak, the big legend, the Summit Series, the former player, coach, president, whatever.
Everything. For hockey. The 1972 Canada-Russia Series. Of course,
good memories.
40 years ago this year.
KHL division still named after the big heroes. Bobrov, Tarasov, after the big heroes of that era. Puck sent slapped back in. Alexei Terashenko, Denisov Zerdev, a diagonal pass, lovely stuff, offensive stuff. Terashenko didn't touch the puck because he thought that letting him go all the way down. 4 players there, and big Zdeno Chara up on the blue line. Both the coaches have to invent something for very different reasons. Hamrlik is in, yes.
There's Hamrlik. Peter Hamrlik, the new goalie for the Slovakian side.
The Ocelari Trinets, one of the extra-league names, while on the other side we wait for Konstantin Barolin of the Atlanta Mitishi to take some extra ice. Marcel Haskat. Puck back into mid-ice. Zvitov, the Salavat Yulayev Ufa forward, making good pressure, or maybe going to the bench. Biryukov, Nikulin. Ilya Nikulin doesn't find the proper combination with marking, which goes into the attack zone before the puck does.
And it's icing call against the Russian, coming, bringing it all the way back. There we're having a look at the Russian head coach, and we're having a look at the scoring leader throughout this tournament, Malkin. And as well, we have the face-off won by Malkin. The Russians keeping possession, coming out of their zone in a very orderly and fast manner. The Slovakians have the side. Baranka having it over to his teammate Chara, having it down deep into the Russian zone.
In the corner, back to mid-ice, sent away. There we go for another stoppage, and frustrated Branko Radivojevic couldn't produce his magic today. Well, Evgeny Malkin goes to take a seat.
And again, Malkin, he's the #1 scorer so far with 10 goals, 8 assists. Obviously, he would love to get another marker in this game here to show more consistency. But a little bit further down the line, and as far as scoring goes, there's Alexander Popov as well. Don't forget about him.
And back again. There is a slashing call. So Alexander Ovechkin going to take a seat. A small what?
A small break.
A small break. So a slashing call to Alexander Ovechkin. So the chasing team with a power play opportunity. Make sure the Slovaks will honor the tournament with a scoring attempt. With a check in front of the crease, and defenseman Mika Sersen screening very well. Varlamov is still between the pipes for the Russians, turning around, trying the magic from a bad angle to no avail. Thomas Surovi, good deflection, and Zdeno Chara keeps the puck in, slaps it back. Semyon Varlamov. Chara going straight to the net. That deflection and the score again by big, huge character and defenseman and captain and Mr. Inspiration, Zdeno Chara.
There you go. As you were saying, Chara went straight in front of the net. Hard, very difficult to look after a guy of that nature. And he comes away with his second goal tonight.
Yeah, commitment, weight, brain, everything combined.
Watch how he goes straight to one for the net.
Try there.
Give and go.
Yeah.
Goes up top. It's in.
He's a kind of agile. Have a look. Lovely backhand pass. Great backhand pass. And this is Russia 5, The Slovaks too. I think that the Slovaks can be very, very, very proud of their tournament, of their game, and of their captain.
Absolutely, especially compared to the turnaround that they did from last year, where even hosting the tournament, they had a very, very tough go about for various reasons. Earlier on, even in this edition, they lost Marcel Hossa. We're going to have a look at it again at the goal for the second goal tonight from Chara, coming right down.
Good assist, lovely feed by Thomas Surovi. What about the feed?
From Satan.
And it is 5-2, an unoffensive face-off. Quick counter-attack, Zerdev chasing the puck, Baranka making good guard. But it is Nikolin putting the puck towards Jan Lazo. Nikolin again, he reappeared on the other side of the blue line. Sekera, a very daring attack, which may result in a very bad giveaway.
There may be an injured Slovakian player on the ice. He was slow, number 71. He was slow getting up. The Russians keep the puck in the Slovakian end with the pressure as well.
Turn around,
have a couple whacks at it. Hammerlick gets his.
But again, the puck
there.
was too close to the pads, so no chance to flick it up.
Yeah, so you can't get much elevation onto the puck.
And so Zdeno Chara scored twice, but the scores of a totally different nature.
Exactly. Once
and twice. And then kicked away by Mikael Miklik. So back into the mid ice, and Surovi again, Svitov, Blaznak trying to get hold of the puck.
Instead, it's Hammerlick.
I said Lazo. I have to apologize, my friends.
Hammerlick has it right there in his glove hand. He says, "Not so fast, guys."
Good catch. Keeps the glove in the air a bit longer, just for some pictures, you know.
Just to show everybody that he's got it.
Yes, and he deserves it. Chara. And Sersen. Chara again. Sersen rushing up on the left. Hanzus. The deflection by Varlamov, still between the pipes for the Russians. And Zeus back to the blue line. Mikael Sersen behind the net now. Puck intercepted by Denis Kokarev. Chara puts it up high in the air. Kopechki making good guard, protecting the puck. Radivojevic, puck is dislodged. Watch out for a 2-on-1, and who's carrying the puck? Pittsburgh's marking. The puck is regained by the defending team under heavy pressure, showing great confidence. Andrei Sekera. Hudacek, puck stolen in the high slot. 3-on-3, very good defensive composure by the Slovaks. Ivan Baranka releasing a shot which is easily controlled by Varlamov. A good feed from behind, but this is of a dangerous kind. Luckily for the Slovaks, there's no one taking advantage of that. When you push it hard from behind the opponent's net, it could easily work against yourself. Puck looping up. Tatar chasing the puck. Looking for option, Alexander Syomin. Ovechkin trying to beat the man to the inside. It doesn't work. Miklik. Puck up in the air again. Pushed from behind. And losing balance. Miklik. 3-on-2. 3-on-2. Puck passing through the hash marks. And Tomas Tatar again. The Grand Rapids Griffins forward. Tatar making good pressure.
Here comes a one-on-one situation.
Xiaomin and Hamalik heavily committed again. And Tomas Tatar. Great sequence by both the teams, attacking without any kind of fear.
Now all of a sudden you see the Slovakian side getting a step into his stride, getting more speed.
Shirokov skating around, waiting for support. A one-timer from the blue line. Great work by it's not Kalini. I'm sorry, it was Denisov. Zerdev sends a puck deep. Zdeno Chara. Zdeno Chara comes away with it. The puck is sent back. He hits Mika Sosen. Radivojevic. Puck in the corner. And Baranka trying to keep it in, and there we go for a face-off.
Good rhythm from the Slovakians in the last few minutes. That last second Slovakian goal by Chara seems to have energized them a little bit. Kopechki's been out there creating many more better scoring opportunities for his side. Again, Datsuk Simomin.
Well, the Russians don't even have a checker line. They have 4 scoring lines. That's it.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And there's Datsuk Siomin again. They've been devastating tonight, this line. And there's Datsuk getting his own goal.
Can you call a 4th line? A lineup composed by Nikita Nikitin, Alexander Svitov, Denis Kokarov, Nikolai Kulyomin, and Yevgeny Kuznetsov. You have to give a name and a number to the line, so that'll be it. Alexander Siomin, and there's the cup. That's the thing they are fighting for.
That's right. That trophy's been around for the world a number of times, and it soon will be. Its destination will soon be decided in the next few minutes. A
slap shot which is deflected not far from the target. Ivan Baranka. Baranka still in control. Sends the puck into the corner. Tomas Surovi. Surovi takes position in front of the net. The puck is lost. Again, and it goes very far away.
Hammerlick decides to jump on the puck, stopping the play, and takes a face-off in his own end.
So, Mikael Sosen covering the hash mark behind Zdeno Chara. A good face-off win by the Russians. Oh, very good cycling shift. And the shot is off the target. Puck back. Medvedev, Evgeny Medvedev. Puck remaining underneath players. Malkin. Hamlik. Mikael Sersen waiting for support. Boston Bruins captain offside. Yes, there was a winger. Bliznak. No, it was a center man really. Anyway, Bliznak from the wing position entering the attack zone before the puck.
Yeah, I think the Slovakian side just needed a little bit more confidence in itself throughout the second period and the first part of this third period. They after that, Chara got his second goal. They obviously picked up the pace, showing us what they can do. But the score still remains quite a bit in the favor, obviously, of the Russian side.
Nikolin falling mid-ice, having a conversation with Marcel Haskak, losing balance and a bit of composure. And you clearly see the disappointment in the Slovaks' faces, meaning that they really believe that through underdogs. And we haven't seen much eyes by Miroslav Satan. He skipped a few
Shifts out there, yeah. It's it's a pace. It's a blistering pace out there. You have to keep younger players out there like Tatar and Miklik, who can keep up with the Russian players as well.
Milan Batovic, the Billy Tigre liberates forward, making good pressure. Now he has to defend his own ice. Andrei Sekera, much ice also for the Buffalo Sabres D-men. René Videreni. Zdeno Chara flicks the puck to the corner. Yemelin, under 3 minutes left in the clock. Denisov, puck mid-ice. Nikolai Kulyomin, no room left to the Toronto Maple Leaf star. Again, a strong will to leave a mark in the last minutes of play by the Slovaks, but it is promptly shut down by the Russians. They mount a very good counter-attack coming from behind. Couple of exchanges, good work, and pet save by Hamlik. Straight from the replacement bench, having a touch and a clear way to do something positive. Libo Hodacek. Oh, easily marking, comes away over, wins the one-on-one versus Zdeno Chara. And it is Russia 6, Slovakia 1.
Slovakia 2,
I'm sorry.
But it's still better than still a bit further away from the Russian side. Malcolm coming down there, finally getting his goal that he was looking for in this game, coming easily into the slot area with a big slap shot. Here he is, coming out, gets the puck, takes it right down, gets by the sides, cuts right into the slot area, slap shot in, gets it by Hammerlick. There's his 11th goal in this tournament.
It was, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Zdeno Chara, the man beat it to the outside by Evgeny Malkin, but I wouldn't blame him too much. 26.27 seconds of ice yesterday in the semi-final against the Czech Republic, so no surprise. A guy that is still trying to score, maybe a little bit tired. Would you blame him?
No, not at all. With
so.
the amount of ice time that he's been logging throughout this entire tournament. Malkin's coming off the ice, back onto the bench.
After coming away from a blistering season with the Boston Bruins in the National Hockey League. So again, Alexander Ovechkin. The combination of the Washington Capitals not far from the nth score. 52 seconds left in the grand final of the World Championship 2012. Russians calling for an early celebration, and Slovaks again proudly attacking, try to reduce the score. showing great commitment. Bit of slashing again, and
There's a
this
penalty
is
call.
a penalty call. Anyway, it's a hooking call. So the grand final of the Ice Hockey World Championship 2012 will finish with a 5-on-4 if nothing happens in the remaining seconds.
Yeah, it's a penalty power play for the Russians. The Russians have one of the most effective power plays as well throughout this tournament for these last 15 seconds. But of course,
a defensive face-off, not even the time to cross the surface for Zdeno Chara's team. Anyway, pucks and deep in. 6 seconds to go. Time to celebrate. Couple of seconds in advance. Russia is the champion of the world 2012. Silver medal to a proud Slovakian team. And bronze to Czech Republic. No medals for the North American big nations. And again, no medals for the hosting nations.
no, big surprise. Yeah, some of the host team nations we were expecting to see around, the North American teams as well. So it's sending a big signal out to the world right now about where the power is in world hockey, obviously with the Russian team coming back, righting what they felt was some of the wrongs that they have suffered in the games in the last few years. Chara, the Slovakian side, great, fantastic tournament. They did an absolutely fantastic job. They can be quite proud of themselves, and they got nothing else but to build on this as well for themselves.
Sure, they worked their way through up to the elite of ice hockey after '93, after the split, the Velvet Revolution, and looks like the players are in a good mood towards their coach, and the atmosphere made the difference. Both the teams made it very clear from the beginning. They have, both the finalists made it clear from the beginning, we have fun outside the ice. We're a good group, and it works.
That's right, and as we see, things are firming up now, looking down the road as well, not only to 2013, but the 2014 Olympics in Sochi.
What about the schedule for the Olympics in Sochi? Out of this tournament, we also have the combination, but what about next year? The championship will be here. That's
Malkin gets the MVP from the Russian side. And I would say Mr. Chara for, there he is.
Yeah, no surprise. The lone scorer for the Slovaks. But it's not only that. The Pavel Dimitra's jumper. No secret. Slovaks took inspiration from the big name which died recently, leaving the whole ice hockey community in deep mourning.
Seomin had a great game, 2 goals. He got best player, MVP of the game.
Alexander Seomin gets the award as well, and a well-deserved one indeed.
And of course the Russians had a very loaded, star-studded team. They did not let down any of the expectations. In fact, they're building the expectations towards the next Olympics. Canada won the Olympics last time in Vancouver, but they will have their work cut out for them. Obviously, from what we saw here tonight against this Russian squad, there will be obviously some things that have to be changed in some teams around the world. And here we see Chara, Zdeno Chara. He's wearing obviously the number 38 of Dimitra, who died in the plane crash a few months ago, tragically, and he's remembering his teammate and his friend. And there we see the MVP award being given out to, as we said before, Alexander Siomin for the Russian side.
Very touching pictures, this number 38. Oh, Zdeno Chara's sweater. Good work anyway by Vladimir Wojtek. He had a decent career as a player with the Czechs and did well as a coach for the Slovaks as well.
The celebrations continue for the Russian side. Ovechkin, Malkin. There's no lack of talent, as we've been saying over and over again on the Russian side. And again, note is obviously being taken by various other national teams around the world of what they have to do to up the level of their teams to be able to compete against this Russian side.
Well, next year's group are gonna be in Stockholm, Czech Republic, Sweden, Canada, Norway, Switzerland, Denmark, Belarus, and Slovenia. While in Helsinki, at the Hartwall Arena, is gonna be Russia, Finland, and Slovakia again. So the two finalists will cross paths again next year. This is the president giving awards also to the referees. Then the Helsinki group is going to be completed by USA, Germany, Latvia, France, and Austria, while Italy and Kazakhstan have been relegated for next year.
And
good picture, players shaking hands. Most of them are familiar to each other. National Hockey League, Continental Hockey League.
And the MVP for the entire tournament is Malkin, number 11, from the Russian side. There he is receiving his trophy.
As in no surprise, the crowd is supporting his big hero. Disappointed by the early exit of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. The Pittsburgh Penguins coming out so early in the NHL playoffs. Boston Bruins as well, the defending champs, they were knocked out.
And then it should be the moment for the cup to be delivered. Disappointment for the Slovak supporters.
And now I think first of all we will see the silver medals being handed out to the Slovakian side, the various players, as we see right there.
Pavel Dimitra is again remembered
by his teammates and good friends on the Slovakian side, and not just on the Slovakian side, but many people from around the entire world. It was a tragic event, but the Slovakian team came back and can be very proud, as we said before, about this tremendous turnaround from the last year. coming up to getting the silver medal. As you see, that's around Chara's neck.
And it is also a remarkable fact, in my humble opinion, that Pavel Dimitra is a hero for the Czechs too.
Yes, sure.
And when the name came off the speakers, you really heard that the Czechs clapped and remember the big legend as well.
Yes, very much so.
Michael Hanzos, the veteran NHLer that really believed that something more than silver could come off from that. Andrei Sekera, probably one of the candidates for the MVP. And what about Satan? And what about so many players in the Slovak team?
And we see the coaching staff on the Slovakian side getting their medal for their work. And the Russian flag is brought out as well. And we're getting ready for the presentation.
A matter of seconds, I think.
Of the gold medal and the World Cup Championship to the Russian side.
Ovechkin, Malkin, and Datsuk. Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Washington playing each other on a regular basis in North America. Zdeno Chara, which is the right pronounce, even though he's known in the world as Zdeno Chara, receiving a very, very deserved award. And again, it points up to the sky. Really moving. And there we go, with Tretiak finally proud.
Of course, we were
guys.
mentioning before about Tretiak. He was the goalkeeper of the Russian team many years ago, but very involved in the Russian Federation right now. And now we see the gold medals being handed out to the players on the Russian side.
Captain Nikolin. Alexander Seaman, Shirokov, Alexander Ovechkin. You keep that.
Terashenko, he netted himself a goal here tonight.
I don't feel talking too much over these pictures, though. Hey, there we go.
And Datsuk. And of course, we're getting close to the actual presentation of the trophy of the World Championships. Now we're seeing first the Russian Federation coaching staff receiving their gold medals. More pictures, more memories. And
there we go. There we go. A matter of seconds.
so far, this entire tournament, 2012, will be very memorable. Many of the games, all the games in Helsinki were held in this Hartwell Arena in Helsinki, a very beautiful structure, very modern.
There we go.
And now we have the moment of the actual trophy being presented to the captain of the Russian side, Nikulin. There it is! It's now official.
There it is. Russia at the top of the ranking, at the top of the world, and we like to thank you all for this long and big adventure with this picture and these sounds. Thanks a lot for being with us once again.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Thanks, it was a lot of fun, and we'll see you back here again next year. Bye-bye
Sure.
from me, Mark, and from Luca.
Goodbye. Thanks a lot.